I'm just going to load up this replay, then we can get straight back in. And Sale, I believe, is very, very busy with work. He's taking a break from the Brood War scene for a bit, so I guess at the end of the day, it's his personal choice. Of course, people are going to miss him. He was a big player in the StarCraft community. Not going to say anything bad about him whatsoever. He sort of gave me my break in casting a bigger tournament by allowing me to cast the TL Open. So kind of glad and thankful for that. I had a lot of fun casting with him over the past year or so. Hopefully he will eventually come back. He did this before, so he may come back, he may not. But let's actually just bring up the overlay quickly, just so I can show who the players are. Gonna do it very, very quickly, don't want to waste too much time. We are getting close to 10 o'clock, so that's quite a few long games today. They've been really cool games as well. And I just loaded up the same replay. Oh man. This day is going perfect. Okay, here we go. Let's actually just load this up. Now hopefully this is going to be the right one. Because if it's not, that could be kind of funny. Just another versus computer game. That would just be ridiculous if that happened. You know what, I don't even know what I would say if that happened again. I would just kind of brush it off. But it looks like we have got the right replay this time, guys. So not to worry. Just quickly finishing setting that up. So that's 2 o'clock for him. 7 o'clock for him. Okay, so let's actually just quickly bring up the overlay. Let's introduce the players quickly and the map, and let's go straight into the game. Don't want to waste too much time on this. There we go. Let's move on over here. This has been shown off before, but as you can see, we're going to have Mazur, who is a Protoss 4 that was against Marine, and his opponent is, his opponent is going to be fighting for Psystorm, Marine, the Terran player. I went into a bit about the stats before, so I'm not going to do it this time. But they are going to be playing on Chupung-Ryeong. We've had no TVPs on here yet, so this should be very cool. As I did explain a little bit earlier in the cast when I was introduced them the first time, this is a very infamous Protoss versus Terran map. So kind of cool that we are going to see this matchup finally. We're seeing a lot of CVPs here, which is kind of crazy given this in TVZ is a pretty Terran favored map, I would say. Avalov probably going to be completely over the moon that I just said a map's Terran favored, but against Protoss definitely favored on this map historically. I'm not sure about now, but let's move on over to the game screen and let's get started. Okay, so starting us off in the bottom left position, we do have the green Terran. It's going to be Marine. And his opponent starting us off in the top right position is going to be the yellow Protoss. Going to try and make it 4-0 in this series. It is going to be Mazur. Okay, I do wonder what we're going to see out of both players here. This is, of course, going to be the first PvT we've seen on this map in the STPL. It's certainly not the first PvT ever on this map. This map is from 2008. It's also a very infamous PvT between Fancy and Stork on this map in the Inquit 2008 OSL Finals. One of the first games to really get me into watching Brood War. So really cool to see this again. This is why I put it in the map pool. Gonna have a pylon scout. Gonna be looking to do possibly a gas steal here. An IOPG, yes, I do play this game. I am a Terran player. I may not be that great. I'm about 1850 MMR at the moment. But we're going to see the gas steal. Oh, so close to getting that. But poor Marine is going to have to deal with this gas steal here. And Mazur is going to be feeling pretty glad with himself there. Very, very annoying. Blocking the barracks from going down as well. Just being as annoying as humanly possible. Welcome to PvT, Marine. I know you probably played it more than I have. But still a very, very cool strat to do on a two-player map. Of course, these days, it's not as powerful. More and more Terrans are more used to doing the 1-Rax FE. Back in 2008, 1-Rax FE wasn't really a thing. 1-Rax FE started to become popular on the MSL map Byzantium and players like Up Magic and the other Eastro Terrans really like popularized it. And then by 2010, sort of a lot of Terrans were doing it on a lot of maps, especially maps with inverse ramps. Of course, that was what Byzantium was, but really, really cool. A little bit of history there from Brood War, but these days, Terran a little bit more comfortable going for that 1 Rex FE. We're probably going to see a Zealot first here. Yes, we are from Mazur. And you know what, that's not too bad. But the thing is, Avi, gas stealing on a 2-player map is still very, very good. A lot of Terran players, especially foreign Terran players, don't do the 1 Rex FE. It is a very hard build to pull off. If you do mess up your repairing ever so slightly, you do just die. So that's not one of the major problems. Just need to mute my microphone for just 1 second. So just hold on 1 moment. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to quickly sort something, and here we go. We're going back to the game here, and we do have the depot up. Of course, going to be building a second depot. This does actually create a Zealot type wall, but it's likely we'll never actually see that come into play. But the first Zealot on the way. Radley is going for that 1 Rex FE, but of course going to be a little bit harder given the fact that sorry, not Radley, Marine is going to go for this, but given the fact there is a Zealot here, I mean, Marine is doing a very good job microing his Marines back, using his namesake here, not even losing a single Marine. Really, really nicely done by him. And there we go, looks like a Marine finally going to be used to clear this probe. Going to be able to finally take his gas as well. One thing we could see Marine doing is building his gas here and actually mining from his natural with about 8 SCVs. And then taking it back at the same time. Doesn't look like we're going to be seeing this here. Marine going to be a little bit more conscious of this now. One thing I'm a little bit worried about Marine here is he's going to leave himself very little room to actually build factories. It's better to build to production in this part of your base, but he's kind of semi-walling this off with depots. It's almost better to build the depots up here, in all honesty. Makes it a little bit harder to recall on top of them. And here we go. Looks like the base has been built. He's going to build both refineries at the same time. Going to try and get that influx of gas he does need. Now Mazur is going for an expansion of his own. Added on a Zealot, going to add on a Dragoon here as well. Going to be able to put on a little bit of pressure as soon as this range is done to this initial bunker. The first factory is going to be a long way off here. Marine finally just about to get enough gas here. We should see the factory going down immediately. Yes, we do. So really nicely done by him, but this is going to allow Mazur to take a third base. Going to be very, very difficult for Marine to actually push in and deal with this. As to the fact he is playing quite greedily here. He got very late gas, so his factories are delayed. But that does not mean he cannot be aggressive. There is a 4 factory follow-up, a 5 factory follow-up, and a 6 factory follow-up to the 1 Rex FE that can be very, very strong against what Mazur is about to try and do. He's going completely greed mode. He isn't even going into a robo or anything like that. No Reavers just yet. He's going into the third base here off the back of 1 gateway. Now this is incredibly greedy to try and pull off. If Marine does not scout this though, he will have a huge economical lead. He's going to be building, looks like going to be 2 factories with machine shops. But here we go, using the Dragoons before he gets range. A little bit interesting, but there we go. Looks like range has just finished. That's going to allow him to try and take down the bunker. Gonna waste a lot of the minerals here for the Terran player on repairing. And oh my god, he nearly loses the bunker because the SCV coming off the turret nearly pushes the other SCVs out of the way. And that would have been a humiliating way to lose. But luckily enough, he does get the repair going, and he is going to be able to move forward into the game a little bit stronger. He will of course have a little bit of an economic advantage, at least until the third base of the Protoss player comes up. Now, Marine is actually adding a second bunker on. He doesn't feel safe. He doesn't feel like he can hold this first bunker, and knows he will need this second bunker to at least keep himself alive. And oh no, he's not repairing. This is the problem. So hard to remember to repair this bunker. It goes on so quickly. With the first tank finally out on the map, He should have siege mode coming up as well. Yes, he does. And this is going to be enough to push the Dragoons back. But the Dragoons going to try and dive in on the tank. This could be absolutely huge. But the high ground saving this tank here from all of those shots. But there we go. The tank is down. The Dragoons are in the main. Can they snipe the second tank? This would be a huge, huge pick-off. It's going to be close. This Dragoon possibly going to go down first, but not before the tank dies. And that is a huge, huge loss for Marine. He is going to be put back a very, very long way. 2 tanks is a lot of build time and a lot of army to really lose if you're going to go for this. But 4 gateways in the Protoss main now with the observatory. Going to be getting the observatory just to make sure he can deal with any mines. He'll be able to scout the factory count as well. The Dragoons getting into the base there did allow him to see that there was only 3 factories. So this will prompt him to add on a lot more gateways. His third base and now up as well, and Marine is slowly losing his chance to try and deal any damage to the third base. The Vultures somehow getting past these Dragoons without any speed. Kind of interesting that he got away with that. But they're going to go off and find the pylon wall, so they're not really going to be able to do too much. But I think Marine does know, or at least suspect, there could be a third base here. And he's going to find it now. The 2 Dragoons going to move back to try and deal with this. 3 tanks actually moving forward to try and take his high ground now. This is a very important place not to lose his Terran. But one problem he does have is he needs to be very careful. He's losing Vultures without using their mines. Mines and speed has now just finished up. And slowly but surely, Mazur's army is going to get bigger and bigger. And this is a very, very, very dangerous position for poor Marine to be in. He doesn't really have enough to push forward. There's a lot of units, and the longer he leaves it, the more and more units the Protoss player is going to get. There's now 7 gateways, I believe, 6 overall, and then someone's building. We do actually have a Citadel at the Natural. He's building a semi-wall against the Vultures here as well with the pylons. Really nice usage of this. But this is the moment Marine's been waiting for. He's going to move up and try and take the high ground of his opponent. Mazur's units are completely out of position, and this could actually topsy-turvy here. Marine doesn't have all that many units, but pushing in from the right angle, he could do a lot of damage, but he needs to be careful. He's going to lose these tanks to the reinforcing units. And, I mean, this is a ticking clock here for Marine. If he's not careful, he's going to lose everything. Looks like a couple of tanks at the back. Taking out a lot of the Dragoons here. There's going to be a lot of damage being done to the Dragoons, but also losing a lot of those reinforcing tanks. Marine only really has 4 tanks here. As soon as we have some Zealots in the shot, they can actually go and drop here. And that is going to be a lot of damage coming down on top of the tanks with friendly fire. But Mazur is finding himself being pushed back into his natural. He is unable to push forward right now. And this should be a lot better, but here we go. Looks like Marine going to be trying to send some Vultures around the edge. Going to try and get into this base. Going to be a little bit disappointed when he finds out he can't really move in. But here we go. Looks like Mazur is going to go for the break. There are no upgrades for the Terran, of course. The Zealot Bomb has gone down. And all of these tanks going to be cleaned up. Absolutely no problems there. Marine is so far behind right now. He's trying to move up with a tank to try and do some damage to this third base. He's going to be able to mine this up, but of course there is a shuttle. That's going to be able to move over, drop Zealots on top of this as well. And there we go. Looks like one of the cannons going down, actually trying to build that. He does really need to kill that Nexus. But here we go, we've got some tanks going down once again, sieging up in the face of adversity there. Going to go down immediately. This is just way, way, way too many units for the Terran player to deal with here. Marine in a good position though. Get a hold on against a good number of these Dragoons. Really nicely done. But the Dragoons are now on top of the tanks with the Vulture. And this is going to be too much for Marine to take. He's going to try and take... Okay, that's not going to be his command center. But looks like we do have more units flooding up here. And this tank somehow, against all odds, taking out a lot of Dragoons. Vultures, of course, ripping through the shields of these. But just look at the amount of units that Mazur has. He now has 8 gateways, I believe. Yeah, he does. Temporal Archives is done. We're going to probably see a Stargate with Arbiter Tribunal. Absolutely not. Oh, we can scan here. This could be a nice scan. Oh, wow. He doesn't need to... Wait. How on earth? I don't know how he saw that, but the unit's been pulled away. Here we go, Dragoons moving on up. Gonna try and clear out the mines so left behind by the Vultures. And Philos, you're not that late. We are only at the end of the first set of games. And there we go. Looks like we actually do have... Oh, he must have got vision from there from before. A nice scan does go down, but of course, nothing to worry about for Mazur right now. He's going to be able to drop Zealots on these. They'll be able to clean this up. No problem whatsoever. Looks like we actually have +1 attack now done for our Terran player. Getting into +1 armor. Probably going to be adding on a second armory as soon as he gets the starport and the science facility to start going into some more upgrades. But here we go, we have Vultures moving around the top side once again, just trying to do as much damage as he can. But he's just unable to find anything. But here we go, we got Vultures against Dragoons. Is he going to go for the Mine Surround? Looks like he's going to try it. He's blocking the Dragoons away from his ramp, away from his tanks. And this is a big moment in this game. The siege mode does get activated, gets a nice shot on one of the Dragoons. And this is a very strong push actually from Marine. Against all odds, he's pushing in and doing a lot of damage, but these tanks have been left on their own. Zealots, Dragoons moving up behind Marine. And this is a big, costly mistake for him. He cannot afford to be losing these units. And more units have been pulled back, but there's only 2 tanks here now. Another 2 been left a little bit too far forward, going down immediately to the tank fire actually. And how on earth did that mine not go off on that Zealot? I refuse to believe that is fair. But here we go, 2 tanks again being pulled down. We have Terran taking a 3rd base in the middle of the map. Protoss going for his 4th. Do we have a Stargate yet? Doesn't look like it, but he does have a Forge going. Gonna be getting some of those upgrades. And there finally is the Stargate. Marine, of course, going to be able to take this high ground. Going to allow him to try and stabilize in the game. But he is currently 40 supply behind. He's got his 3rd base up. He's misplaced it. He's not going to be able to build a scanner here, and his gas isn't going to be efficient whatsoever. It needs to be 1 further over. 1 or 2 hexes actually. I think it's supposed to be here. But of course, he is going to be able to buy the minerals. So all is not lost. But scanners, of course, very important in TVP. Purely on the basis of everything that's going on. Now, let's actually have a look here. Mazur moving forward here onto the map with his units. We do actually have no upgrade still. Is this Forge even spinning? Yes, it is. Going to be getting +1 attack. Do we have the science facility up yet for our Terran player? It doesn't look like we do. We don't even have a starport here. And this is a very costly mistake as well. As soon as we start to see those arbiters coming in, which we should do, more gateways being added at the top of the map here. No arbiter tech though, no fleet beacon either. I'm kind of surprised by this. I really want to know what Mazur's endgame is going to be, because he is just sticking on Zealots and Dragoons. And if he leaves it too long, the Terran player is going to get his upgrades. He's going to be training incredibly efficiently against this. Of course, Mazur is taking a 5th base now, but Marine is taking a 4th. It's going to be quite easy for him to defend that as well. And I almost feel like Mazur has let the Terran sit there for too long, let the Terran build up too many units. And finally, I think we could see Marine coming back into this game despite taking so much damage early on. Despite throwing away so many units, Marine is doing a fantastic job with his macro. He has decent factory position. We finally do have the starport coming up. He's got double armory. I get the feeling he built that and then suddenly thought, damn, I don't have the science facility. I've done that so many times in games. Very unfortunate to do. But Mazur looking to try and secure this 5th base. And we could be going into a very long PBT here, ladies and gentlemen. And if this goes on too much longer, I may actually have to cut the cast early and do some more games next week. Or not next week, on Friday. But not to worry as yet. We're still only 10 o'clock, so it's just I don't want to have to cut a cast out midway. Unfortunately, I do have to go to work at some point. This is certainly the longest day of STPL we've ever had so far. We're only on the first series, and we have been casting now for 3 hours nearly. No, 2 hours nearly. I have no idea how to count the time. I'm like that American school that has banned analog clocks in examples because I can't read a clock. But the shuttle does go down with the Zealots in. Mazur is going to find it very difficult to actually find somewhere to attack here. He is going to get this command center. Going to be able to send these Dragoons. I'm surprised he's not sending them around the back. That unit's going to try and come in from behind to try and defend this, but the command center does obviously go down. Do we have Arbiter Tech? Yes, we do. Stasis being researched first. Looks like we're going to have Mazur moving in. He has a big bank. He's going to push in up on this high ground. There's not actually that many units for Marine. A lot of them got pulled away. And this could be a lot of damage. Marine needs to make sure he's targeting the Dragoons at the back. But it looks like he's been hitting the Zealots. A lot of his own units have actually gone down. But this should be enough only just to hold on here. And that is absolutely insane. What a crazy, crazy engagement. Goliath's actually moving in, doing a lot of damage. You can see that 1-1 really coming in handy against the 1-0 of the Dragoons. They're not going to get another one, but that was a very, very nice pick off of the 3 extra Dragoons. Get a trade to Goliath, which realistically aren't all that important. You only really want to get a few of them. Just to make sure you can sort of see what's going on. But here we go. Looks like we're actually going to have Marine move forward. Going to try and take his third base. Going to try and secure it again. Of course, he did take a lot of damage. A lot of his SUVs are still mining the gas. And here we go. Marine's actually moving out on the map. A lot of the Zealots moving in. A lot of the Vultures moving in as well. And we're going to have yet another engagement. The Zealots on top of the tanks, so the Vultures completely in the wrong position. The tank's going to siege up in the middle of Zealots. Not the best of sieges there. But Marine is going to be going up to 2-2 very, very shortly. Actually, no, he's not. His upgrades are very, very late. That's a bit unfortunate for him. But he does take a position on the map. We finally have the first Arbiter out on the map. This is going to be quite difficult for Marine to deal with. Of course, we do have Dragoons over here at the third base. 8 kills on that one, 8 kills on that one, and 7 on that. About to be 8. They are going to be the 888 brothers. No, they're not. That poor Dragoon, but here we go. Big engagement in the middle. Could Marine have stepped too far? Yes, he could. GG. And Mazur is going to take Net Wars